Welcome everybody to Remote Learning Math 8. And first of all, you might be wondering if you've already done your science, why am I calling this remote learning and calling science distance learning? Well, truth be told is since I created the video for distance learning, Dr. Miller, our school superintendent, asked that we call it remote learning. So I'll be changing the name of distance learning and science to remote learning for next week, but just know they're all the same thing. Just like in science, I do have office hours. And this week, remember on Friday is Good Friday, so you don't have class. Do something fun, enjoy yourself. But on Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, 9 to 10 a.m., and from 1 to 2 p.m. If you have any questions with math, if you have any concerns, you can email me. You can email me to set up a video chat, and we can do that online. I can give you a phone call if you would like. If you do get a phone call, or if you want me to talk with you and your parents to help everybody get through it, just understand that I do use Google Voice, so my phone number would be restricted because I'm not at school, so it won't show up as Baraboo Middle School if you have caller ID. But these times right here are set aside where I'm going to be glued in front of my computer, and I am going to be ready to respond to emails, ready to respond to any requests that you have as far as help is concerned. So this would be a great time for help. So if you email me at 8 in the morning, I may wait until this time to respond, but just understand I will respond other times as well. But also understand that if you're the type of student, and this is the neat thing about remote learning, is if you want to sleep in till 10 o'clock and you want to do your work from, say, 10 to 2 each day, you can do that. If you want to start your schooling at 7 o'clock at night, you can do that. That's the beauty of remote learning. But just understand that if you're up at 10 o'clock at night, I'm not up at 10 o'clock at night, so you can't email me expecting an email that night. I'll get back to you the next morning. Now, this looks a lot like science, and I'm not sure if it's going to stay that way or not. And things are a little bit trickier in math. And in science, things are going pretty smoothly because it's just Mr. Phillips and I. There's just two people having to coordinate. But to get the math done, I've got to coordinate with at least 3 other teachers, and there's actually a 4th person that teaches 8th graders too. So there's 5 of us that are going back and forth trying to figure out what to do and how we want it to look. So one of the things we talked about is having this format. I don't know if it'll be the same for next week or not. But I'm going to go through what the expectations are for this week, and I'll create another video for next week. This week is going to be more of an introduction, a getting back into the routine type deal. So on Monday, you're going to be listening to this video. It's just an introduction on distance learning. What are the expectations? Just like everything else, I expect you to do your own work, I expect you to ask questions, and I expect you to do your very best. Ultimately, what you get out of remote learning is what you put into remote learning. So if you're just trying to do the minimum and trying to squeak by and get through the school year, hey, what are you going to get out of it? Because remember, you're going to have 3 more years of math you have to pass at the high school in order to graduate. So the more you do now, the better it is. But also keep in mind, if something happens and you get sick with the coronavirus, or someone in your family does, or things aren't working well at home because both parents are still working and you're keeping, you're babysitting your siblings, your younger siblings, understand that from time to time you may not be able to get all the lessons done, all the activities. I understand that. That's perfectly fine. If something does come up, you can always email me that, and I'll jot that down as a note. So if people ask, hey, why isn't so-and-so doing any work? Well, they were sick last week, or this is what's going on, so give them a break. So just let me know if you need any assistance in that manner from me. So the next thing you're going to do is you're going to use a program called Padlet to respond to the above question. And one of the things that we're concerned about, especially in math, because math is a lot of teamwork and it's normally a 2-hour block class, is we're not interacting anymore. So Padlet is a chance for you to interact. So if you Google Padlet, and you may have to sign up for a free account, and if you go into Google Classroom, I'm going to have a link for you. And that will give you, it's kind of like a giant bulletin board with sticky notes on it. And on Monday, there's the question, what's the weirdest food you've ever eaten? So you're going to be able to see what everybody has put up there, especially if you go to it a couple different times. And you can heart other people's what the weirdest thing they've ever eaten. So you can have your own posting, and then you can see what everybody else posts, and you can heart their postings. And we're going to have one of these on Monday and another one on Thursday, and you'll see them both on the same bulletin board. So it's our chance to interact with each other. Sometimes they're going to be fun questions. Sometimes they're going to be math related. Obviously, this one is not math related. So if you're having trouble signing up for this, just let me know. I will do the best I can help you. And remember, at any time, especially during the office hours, I can show you, I can do something called Google's Meet, where you can see my screen and we can talk through issues. The only thing that if we ever do a Google's Meet, and we may do one as a class every now and then, is I ask that you keep your cameras off. And most of the time my camera is not on as well, but for those, I would probably keep my camera on. And the reason we ask you as students to keep your cameras off is sometimes things happen, siblings are behind you making silly faces, and it's hard for everybody to concentrate. Or heaven forbid, something else happens behind you, or something slips up, and I don't know. I guess I was watching on Twitter. I don't know where I saw the video, but a lot of people are doing home meetings right now, and a lady was doing a whole meeting, and her husband accidentally walked behind the camera in his PJs. So it's kind of a little embarrassing. You're in a professional meeting, and all of a sudden your husband walks behind you, and he's still in his PJs. That way, nothing like that happens. And if you've already listened to the science, or if math is the first thing you're looking at, you should understand, or it doesn't matter if it's English or language arts or whatever it is, you all have this wrap up. So when you do your math, you're going to click on that, and it's basically our way of taking attendance. And again, you might say, what? Are they taking attendance? Well, we're trying to monitor who's actively engaged and who's not. And if you're not doing any math, you may end up getting an email from Mr. Schwartz or a phone call from Mrs. Olson, just wondering what's going on, how can the school help? And you may get that type of email for myself as well. So it's our way of just trying to keep track of who's engaged. So just fill that out. It's only a few minutes. On Tuesday, you're going to watch this video, and now keep in mind, you'll respond to the video tomorrow. So on Wednesday, you're actually going to respond within Google Classroom. You're going to write a response to Tuesday's video. So the video shouldn't take you that long, and then the wrap-up question on Wednesday shouldn't take you that long as well. Also on Wednesday, I'm just going to ask you some questions with Google Classroom. What are your thoughts on using Padlet? I'd like to do a couple Padlets each week where you respond possibly to a math prompt or to a silly question. That way we can still interact with each other as a class. And then on Thursday, we're going to have you watch a Pixar movie. And it's not a Pixar movie like a regular movie. It's more, I think it's a TED Talk. It's actually found in TED Ed. And they talk about the math behind Pixar. So one of the things, a lot of people will ask, when am I ever going to have to know this? When am I ever going to have to use this? And the bottom line is you don't know for sure. What I mean by that is you don't know for sure what you're going to do with the rest of your life. What are your dream jobs? What do you absolutely, what is your dream job? And the reality is math is used everywhere. Whether you're going to the store, whether you're at home trying to put fertilizer on the lawn, or trying to mix gas and oil for some, I think my old snowblower and my rototiller uses a gasoline oil blend. I have to be able to use fractions to get the right proportions together. So math is used all the time. And this is just one example of almost a dream job. I would love to have this job, and they just talk about all the math behind it. Now for this, you may have to sign up for a TED Ed account, but you do not have to complete the think and discuss questions. Just take a look at it and ask yourself, is this a job I would like to have? And, just being all the math you have to know in order to do some jobs. And then there's another Padlet question. These are going to be silly questions, and they're going to vary. And the reason why they're going to vary is because some of the teachers had different ideas of what they wanted to post. So every teacher, in other words, like Mr. Bell and Mr. Margander may have a different one than myself. So respond to that question, and then see what everybody else is doing and like theirs if you like what their comments were. And then again, you're going to be doing that wrap up every day. And like I said earlier, no class on Friday. Now, the additional resources, these are just additional. You do not have to do them. They are optional. Here's a math game. Here's some skill builders. If you are not being challenged and you want to do more math, first of all, feel free to email me and just say, hey, Mr. Attune, this isn't enough for me. I'm not being challenged. Can you email me? And I can come up with personalized lessons for you. And if I create a personalized lessons for you for the week and you don't think it's enough, ask me for more. Or if I all of a sudden give you too much, say, oh, not quite that much, a little bit less, I will work with you. The nice thing about you in my math class is it's my only math class, so I can devote a lot of time to you as far as math is concerned. Now, one of the things I will forewarn you is I think we are going to be using Khan Academy next week. And I have created a Khan Academy class, and I think a couple of you probably have gotten emails to get your account in store. That's what that's for. And so don't be surprised if you have some Khan Academy. The neat thing about Khan Academy is that there's videos involved with that as well. So we might do a little IXL, we might do a little Khan Academy, we might do a little Desmos, we might have a problem of the week. So we're going to try and vary it up so you're not always doing the same thing every single day. So as always, let me know if you have questions, concerns, and don't forget the office hours. So I hope each and every one of you is still, you're well, you're not getting sick, and I hope your families are healthy, and I hope that that continues. And please let me know if there's anything I can do to help you. Thank you. Bye.